So she shared someone else's video talking about the Bible, talking about sex before marriage, right? And yes, I have no doubt that look, I've never done it right, okay? And in my esoteric studies, I learned that if you want to marry someone, if you think this person is the one, that you hold off before touching each other, because it does put a type of curse on a relationship and it won't last. Now, she went into very specifics. The lady in the video went into specifics and she spelled out a lot of absolutes, like this correlates directly from the Bible and I interpret it this way, this way, this way, this way. Okay, I would like to take point by point and prove that those are absolutes that are fallible. I know because I've studied this. I know that there are loopholes. And lineage is important, right? And in my heritage, like, we come from native people that knew. Didn't matter if you were making love or making war. Like, you didn't cheat or it dishonored the gods and you would get cursed. You know, like, they didn't try to get away with shit because God was always watching, right? So, anyway, all that to say, how do I want to say this? I also had an argument with a relative because she was saying that having a sexual relationship before marriage was adultery, and I said no. By definition, we have to be literal first and then we can get into the figurative stuff. By definition, it's not adultery if you're not freaking married. But if you are going to marry the person, don't do it, because you will curse yourself. Now, if you know, we've all had Mr. Rights and Mrs. Right now. Okay, if you know you're not going to marry them, technically there's a gray area. Just saying. I consider myself to be healed, a prepared partner. I was under the impression that I wasn't going to meet the right one until I was ready. So, but the way things are right now, I will be alone because it's just too crazy out there. So, having said all that, what I want y'all to hear is okay, so I'm speaking to readers right now. Do not give out absolutes. If you feel that something is true, then talk about why it is you feel that way instead of spouting out a black and white protocol that you feel is, you know, like, don't be like spouting out what you believe is the law, because I can tell you, you don't know the freaking law. And even the law must be interpreted in at least 7 ways for it to be complete. So your one-sided or two-sided assessment of spiritual law cannot be correct. That's all I want to say. I mean, I could tell where her heart was. I could tell that she meant it in a good way. But spiritual leaders, when they start talking about me this and me that, and look what I discovered, and like holding on to the Bible and going like, this is literal. As soon as you say this is literal, then you lose me, because it can't be literal. In the universe, in duality, you have to have at least two sides, first off. So you can't, law of polarity too. Like, opposites are the same, just different in degree. There's no way you can have an absolute in reality. So when someone says, okay, I'm taking this literal from this one point of view from the Bible, and that's it, this is the answer, nothing else should be considered, then that's bullshit. I call bullshit. We need to stop teaching people to think that way. That's how we got to this point. Like, I wish everybody union with their divine partners, but sometimes we run across our divine partner and either they're not ready, or they don't recognize who you are, or they haven't done the work and they're not ready, and they're with a karmic, and blah 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 blah. So like, I've been hit with that situation where I have to choose, what am I going to do? Going back to another karmic because my divine partner's not ready is not an option. And if he's not going to be ready in this lifetime, I will give it to God and tell him, hey, he's not answering, send me another one. But until I'm certain again, like, high priestesses can't spread their energy out like that. Like, like, if you're having a hard time with life and you're a creative person, you're a talented person, and you feel that there's something within you that you want to share with the world, realize that first off, that comes from God. So if you are not including God in your like daily decisions, like, there's too many elements in this world stacked up against you, like, you're not going to make it. Like, you need that connection with God. And we were meant to share love with each other, with our family, with God, and somewhere along the line that got fucked up. I'm just being real. I'm taking the rosy colored glasses off. When I was 17, I got married, to my high school sweetheart, but I got married and that was a disaster. Like, shit happens. And the priest that I thought married us wasn't right with God. So, I've heard the saying, if you're not married by the church, you're not really married in God's eyes. Well, if the priest wasn't right with God, was I ever really married by the church? There's some gray area. Anyways, I'm just being 100% honest. I love you all. Have a good one. Good chat.